is our national columnist from the Sporting News on college football on coast to coast. And I was just talking to him about my Canes. It's all about the Canes, baby. It's the U. Now, Bill is not having it. He's like, oh, here we go again with this guy and his Miami Canes and having to put up with it. But I just went through their schedule with Bill, and he looked at me like I was a Martian. They play Vatek Friday at home. They're better than Vatek. At Cal, they're better than Cal. At Louisville, tough game, but they're better than Louisville. Let's see if they can handle their business. That's a tough road game. Florida State at home. Florida State is hairdryer city this year. I can't even believe they won a game Saturday. Duke does not have the athletes or Elko anymore, and Miami's not losing to them this year. Georgia Tech can't beat Louisville. They're not beating Miami. I don't care if the game's at Bobby Dodd, and Wake and Syracuse aren't beating them either.
And as I told you, 109-10, they've outscored opponents in the second half. This is about as close to a playoff team as you can pencil in right now, especially if they maintain that offense around Cam Ward, who throws for over 300 yards every week. He's been a godsend for them from the quarterback position. He is the Heisman Trophy frontrunner right now. And I'm seeing the best possible case scenario for the ACC, Scott, is Miami and Clemson just run the table and play each other at the end of the road. Maybe you get 2 playoff berths at that event, because Clemson's looked pretty good the last 2 weeks since they got handed their you-know-what by Georgia. I almost slipped and said it. I didn't say it.
How about Restrepo and how Ward throws to this guy? He had 3 TDs Saturday. They absolutely imploded South Florida. Now, I thought South Florida would give them a better game. The game was at Raymond James, and it was a good game in the first half, just like South Florida played against Alabama. In the fourth quarter, the Tide rolled them. In this game was over in the third quarter. Miami came out in the third quarter and obliterated them.
Yeah, South Florida's a nice team, a nice group of 5 team. It's not like they're short on athletes or what Alex Golesh has been able to do there. They run as many plays as any team in the country. So again, Miami just taking care of business. They're right there when you get through the SEC clump of first-year teams. I know we're going to talk some Georgia, Alabama at some point here, but I struggle with who's better out of Miami and Tennessee. That's a game I would watch tomorrow. I would love to see the Hurricanes play against this Tennessee team that has a young quarterback in Nico Iamaleava, was able to take care of business against Oklahoma, though the Sooners have, as you saw, Scott, they have some serious quarterback issues. And Tennessee plays a little bit of defense, too. That would be about as fun a quarterfinal matchup as you could possibly get between Miami and Tennessee. I like both of them as the kind of the 2 schools that are outside the usual suspects for the national championship.
And those teams would be Texas and Georgia. Allegedly, Georgia, we all know they stubbed their toe, but won in Lexington by 1. When you win by 1, you still win. But they got the reward of falling in the polls. Those are your 2 heavies, or is Alabama in there? Is Ole Miss in there? Who are your sure things that you think have, like right now, a legitimate shot to win it all?
I think the 4 teams that stick out are Texas. They're complete. They're taking care of business. They have 2 quarterbacks that are legit, that could lead a national championship run. And I was up there in the big house when they took care of Michigan. And I think that's starting to look like that was more about Texas than it was about Michigan. Ohio State's pretty complete as well. When you have Quinshad Judkins, Travion Henderson, both combining to average more than 9 yards per carry. That's the old 3 yards in a cloud of dust, big thing times 3. That'll work, especially up here. Alabama would be next along with Georgia, and we're going to see those 2 this weekend. I think both of those teams are more than capable of winning it all. Interesting test for Kalen DeBoer, right? I mean, he is 2-1 against top 5 teams, but Nick Saban was 30-15 against top 5 teams. It's the same winning percentage, but over just a little bit longer time frame.
So that game's in Tuscaloosa on Saturday night on ABC in primetime, and Georgia's favored by 2. Georgia's better than Alabama at this point, this team the last couple of years. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I kept looking at that line today and saying, why is Georgia favored? And I circled back to what you just said. They're the better football team. They had a bad half against Alabama in the SEC championship game last year, but they have a defense that hasn't allowed a touchdown all season. They've had a week to talk about the Kentucky scare. Obviously, that was a close game, and the running game wasn't going around Carson Beck, but nobody uses the underdog card on this planet better than, well, you maybe have an answer somebody better, but Kirby Smart does it as well as anybody, getting his team to believe that nobody believes in them, so they go play out an edge. And I'm sure he'll do that when they go down to Tuscaloosa, because I'm sure a lot of bettors will bet on Alabama in this game.
Were you surprised that the beating Clemson put on NC State? Everyone thought that NC State was going to be, better this year. They were legit considered to be tougher than they've been in a long time because they figured out their running game. They already have a good coaching staff, a good defense. They have it all. And then I watched a little bit of that game, and frankly, I had to turn the channel. It was so bad.
Yeah, Clemson's pretty good. And again, they got beat pretty good by Georgia in the opener, 34-3. But ever since then, averaging over 60 points, averaging over 560 yards of total offense. Cade Klubnik is throwing touchdowns and adding something in the running game. And it's still Clemson. At ACC, they've dominated that conference for the better part of a decade with a few blips in between. So I think Dabo Swinney, again, has used that to his advantage. NC State did have a backup quarterback in that game, but the Tigers look really good. They play Stanford this weekend. That is a big line, 21.5 points, but I think Clemson covers it. I think they go out and play vicious football until they maybe get the opportunity at the end of the road to play Miami in the ACC championship game. I know we got 2 months to get there, but they don't play each other in the regular season, and that's a huge schedule break for the Tigers.
So who do you think's more legit, Missouri or Ole Miss? They both won on Saturday. Missouri had to deal with Vandy in double overtime, and meanwhile, Ole Miss put 52 on Georgia Southern, and I guess people were disappointed that it wasn't 72 or 82.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss is a better team right now. Jackson Dart leads the nation in passing yards, leads the nation in passer efficiency, and they are a cover machine. 4-0 against the spread going into this week against Kentucky, where despite a couple close games against Kentucky in recent seasons, I like Ole Miss to cover that big number too, because they've got a defense to go along with it. They've got a big play receiver in Trey Harris. I'm not disparaging anything about Missouri, but that was too close for comfort against Vanderbilt, and their schedule isn't great. So the second they lose a game, we're going to look for every excuse to disregard them from that SEC pile of contenders.
So what do you think of Iowa State and Campbell's team? And frankly, while you're at it, Utah, they went to Stillwater at Boone Pickens. I thought they'd lose, but they didn't. And they're undefeated at 4-0, and they got a guy playing quarterback that's like 50 years old.
Yeah, the Big 12 is very interesting to me. I mean, you got this conference that we're so used to wide open offenses. I mean, what's winning in the Big 12 right now? Defense. Utah, physical defense. BYU, physical defense. Iowa State, they destroyed Arkansas State over the weekend. They're the best defense of all in the Big 12 right now. So for all that talk about offense, I think defense could win. We could see Iowa State, Utah at the end of the road.
Wow, I can't wait for Georgia and Alabama on Saturday at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa. Should be a great game between the Bulldogs and the Tide. Kirby against DeBoer and all those Tide fans. That place is going to be lit. Bill, enjoy the games this week. Always a pleasure, my man.
Yeah, no problem.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season long.
What in the world is going on
in Miami, Dom.
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Get the SportsGrid app. I turned my boy onto it today. Macon in Pittsburgh. My man, Macon, the Golden Gloves champ, a fighter, a boxer from the Steel City, rolling me out to the airport. I said, you got to get SportsGrid. The app is awesome. Look, hit live, hit watch, hit listen. You get it all. And you can follow your favorite hosts like Carver High. Get all the stories, highlights, in-game odds, you name it. It's all on the SportsGrid app. It really does kick ass. All right, it's great to have you with us on the radio side, the TV side, the streaming networks on this Monday C2C, a doubleheader tonight, Pain Day style in the NFL. Carver High's tutty picks are the stuff of legend.
They certainly are. At least we hope them to be. Good. Last night, I did tweet it out beforehand. A couple of the listeners did ask, and we hit Drake London with the primetime game for a first tutty at 11-1. So we had ourselves a nice hit there. The first tutties in the primetime games have been very good to us, and we have 2 of them tonight. So we're going to try to get this done. So 2 games, Scotty, which means double the action. I give you 3 from each to try to get us cooking here. Let's go. From the Bills and the Jaguars side of things, Kincaid hasn't scored yet. We're 3 weeks in. He's been covered a lot, but the dam's going to break. Plus 250 for Dalton Kincaid tonight for Allen to find him. Next, Gabe Davis returns to Buffalo, this time as a member of the Jags. He's only been there for a couple games, but still knows the Bills very well. Gabe Davis plus 3 Bills tonight for him to score for Jacksonville, which would be his first touchdown for them. Next, in the Cincinnati game, Terry McLaurin. Target share up last week. They got him more involved, but he didn't find the end zone. We played him last week. We didn't hit it. This week, we do hit it. Plus 290 for Terry McLaurin for Daniels to find him in Cincinnati. Mike Gesicki, Mike G, plus 400. Burrows liked him. Looked at Gesicki a lot so far over the first couple games. Plus 400 there. Now the first tutties.
Whoa.
1 safe and 1 deep shot. Okay? The safe one is Jamar Chase, who I believe also tonight, Scotty, will get involved in a big way. Plus 700 for Jamar Chase to score the first tutty. In the Bill game, though, I am going deep down the board. Dawson Knox, for whatever reason, in primetime games, big moments, seems to be around the end zone. How about a first tutty for Dawson Knox tonight at 28-1?
What?
28-1 for Knox. Now, people are thinking, oh, Knox does nothing now. Kincaid's the guy. Wrong. Knox, good snap count, good targets the first couple of weeks. He's out there. It's possible. Josh is looking for everyone. And for a guy who's going to be very involved at 28-1, I'll take my shot there, Scotty. And he's 6-1 anytime, too. So if you want to play Knox also anytime, we could do that as well.
Yeah, I'll put your boy Cook on the board as well for the Bills. And, look, I think tonight all of that you have up there is beautiful. And I even like the 2,800. If that hits, I am going to freak out. 2,800.
Yeah,
you've already won one, 2 weeks ago for $1,000. And now you're going into the stratosphere. Like, look at this, 2,800. I mean, and then Davis going back to make some money for us with the Jags against your Bills, the former Bill, no pun intended. So I don't know about Gesicki. I hope you're right. I thought he's kind of dropped off a little bit. I know they throw to him a little bit, but I liked him better in Miami, and then he's had some injuries and everything else. I've seen him make some catches against the Chiefs, but let's see if he can get in the end zone tonight. I think that game in the jungle, they either win tonight or their season's over.
They better win, as far as I'm concerned. They better win tonight. I need Cincinnati to win that game, Scotty, one way or the other. All right, lots of college. You were just talking to Bill. I want to try to get through as much as I can because I got baseball to get with you as well before we get out of here today. All right, Michigan beat USC 27-24. And that was with, like, you and Gabe were talking about earlier. I mean, they barely threw the ball, Scott. They didn't need to throw the ball. The run game is what did it. Now, USC, big comeback in the second half, had the lead, but Michigan then ends up winning it by that touchdown that they had in the final minute. For me, Scotty, that's a bad job by Lincoln Riley. I know it's their first road game, new Big Ten, all that. Michigan's offense isn't great. You got to coach that D up. The D should have known coming in. All we got to do is stop the run, and we're going to be all right here. And they weren't ready for it. That was a bad job by USC.
Fair enough. I think that they, have played Michigan through the years at the Rose Bowl. They've always played Michigan in Pasadena. They never played them at the Coliseum. They played them in the Rose Bowl, and they used to kick their ass. This is the first time I can remember them playing at the Big House. Am I crazy? Was it the first time they've ever played there? I don't even know.
I believe so. I believe so, yes.
Look, walking into that den of iniquity is what it is. I mean, it's just a gigantic place. They had all the yellow going, and even though USC has, burgundy and yellow, whatever you want to call it, you looked around that stadium and it looked like a tiger or something with all the yellow, the maize, in the crowd. I was like, is that like for USC? I'm like, no, that's maize. And everyone else in the middle is just the alleged blue. People wore whatever they wanted, but those sections filled with yellow. You go in and play in that place with 110,000 people, it's overwhelming. These are kids. And, I don't think they played poorly. I thought they had a bad first half, got dominated, and then they woke up. And they played better than Michigan in the second half. And when it came down to it, they didn't get it done. I bet the next time they go there to play Michigan, whenever, in 2 years, whenever it is, I think they'll figure out a way to win in Ann Arbor. Because I think the first time is like, the first time in anything else, relations, anything you want to talk about. Like, it's hard to win at Michigan if you've never played there before.
It certainly is. All right, I'm going to rip through the rest of these when we come back, including Tennessee getting that win in Oklahoma. Notre Dame didn't cover, had some struggles too early with Miami of Ohio. How about Clemson destroying NC State? We'll run through everything when we come back.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the
world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Billy Bender talking about Tennessee. I mean, they won at Memorial in Norman. They scored 25. But that was a tougher environment and a tougher team than what they've been playing up until this point when they've been unleashing 70 points on everyone every week. But in this particular game, they still won. They went out there and they were never in trouble. I never thought they were in trouble in that football game, Mike.
No, they were never in trouble in the football game. And let's remember something here. Like, this looks like a 10-point game. To be quite honest with you, it wasn't. Tennessee dominated this game from pillar to post. Oklahoma scored a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter when the game was 22-3 going to the fourth. Tennessee's defense, Scotty, which doesn't get the same juice, obviously, as Nico in that offense with everything they do, they were dominating. The quarterback on Oklahoma, Arnold, was a stiff, and they took him out and they brought the kid in. It didn't make a difference. Nice win for Tennessee, showing that they could play both sides of the ball there. You talked about Miami already with Bill, 50-15. They take care of USF, and I agree with you. If this is a real Miami team, and this is different from years past, and this isn't the same old games from the last 15, 20 years, they should run that table with the schedule that they have, and they should be playing Clemson undefeated in the ACC title game. That's what should happen in the ACC this year. No question. They can't lose to any of those teams.
I'll be surprised if they do. I could see one of them dropping a game. Maybe, like I said, Louisville would be tough to me on the road there, but I still think they're better than Louisville. So they go into the game favored in every game. And let me say this. This is Miami's best athletic team that they've had since, 2001. And since they've had, prior to that, over my head here, all the national championships, 5 of them. They had the best athletes, the fastest players in college football for those 5 titles. And they had the best coaches in college football at that juncture of their history. This guy has finally, and I'll give him credit, I've ripped him before for his first 2 years were like having diarrhea. I thought it was awful. And now he's finally got 5-star athletes, pure speed athletes. What I'm seeing when I watch Miami is they have more speed and talent at every position when they play teams, and their quarterback is better than every quarterback in America. He is the best quarterback in America. He is the calmest, most assured. He has every single fiber of him knows what's happening on a football field before it happens. He's Wayne Gretzky. This guy sees pressure coming when he's sleeping. Okay? He knows when he's going to get hit. He knows his spacing, his timing, how to spin, get out of trouble, to use the field to his advantage, to roll out to his strong side, to throw passes. He's already an NFL player. He's already an NFL player playing. He's a man against boys, and that's why they're so good. 5-star talent at every position, and really, their quarterback's a 10-star talent.
He has been unbelievable so far, that's for sure. Notre Dame didn't cover against Miami of Ohio. In fact, they screwed around for most of the game before a couple of touchdowns in the second half. Ohio State, no cover again. They were bored. I agree with you. Clemson smashed NC State 59-35. So a big offensive output again from Dabo and the Tigers. I got to tell you, I love this guy, Cignetti. This guy's bringing me to the window every single week. And he scored with the points. I took the over in the Indiana game. It was 49.5. 52-14. They smashed Charlotte. They already got a Big Ten win. We know the schedule. I love Cignetti, Scotty. I hope you do too. He's great at Indiana.
Well, I love him. What he's doing is great. But I'm not going back for homecoming. And I doubt I'll be going to any Indiana football games ever again. I went there, and I literally – And when I was there as a student, I loved it. I was around Bob Knight, and I just thought it was heaven. I thought it was the greatest place ever. When I went back as an adult, honestly, I thought I would rather be run over by a combine in a cornfield than be there. I was like, I am in a farmer's market. I am like, it's hillbillies. Honestly, I was like, I am in hell. I got to get out of here. Where can I get some liquor? I got to do something because I'm not having fun. And it's just too small and too slow for me. And when I go back there, I went to the basketball game. It was great. I go to a football game. I'd rather be pregnant. That's right. Me, be pregnant.
Well, I don't know how to go there. As long as he keeps sending me to the window, I don't care who goes
That's
to the
all
games.
that matters.
I love Indiana. That's all that matters to me.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
I heard some action right there off on the set. There was a little action right there, Carver High. LSU a winner against UCLA, but that game was 17-all. I think UCLA stinks. I am not buying Brian Kelly and the Bayou Bengals. I am not buying them anymore. I think they are right where they should be, somewhere in the neighborhood of 16th to 20th in the country. They're just not that good.
No, I agree with you. I think that there's 5, maybe even 6 teams in the SEC better than them. And we're going to start to find that out once we get into the serious games here coming up in the next few weeks. That wasn't impressive to me either against UCLA. Louisville beat Georgia Tech 31-19. Arkansas beat Auburn 24-14. Now, look, I didn't really want to get too involved with Auburn today because they suck also, but you talk about a guy who's not having a good time right now. That would be Hugh Freeze, the head coach of the Auburn Tigers, Scotty. I don't know if you saw him completely destroy his quarterbacks, his running backs, basically his entire team after the game. So I don't know how much longer he thinks all those kids are going to be playing for them. But bad job by Hugh. They're giving the kids the business.
You either win there or you are screwed.
You're screwed. And it's not going well for him so far down at the Plains. Utah beat Oak State 22-19. But honestly, Scotty, it wasn't that close. That's like deceiving like the Tennessee game. Utah beat their ass, and Oklahoma State scored a couple of cheap touchdowns late in the fourth quarter to make the game look pretty. That's all that game was, because Oklahoma State had no shot in that game at home. Vandy almost beat Missouri. Should have beat Missouri. 30-27 in overtime. So very dicey there. But they didn't, so Missouri stays undefeated. Florida State finally won a game. They beat Cal 14-9. Tells you where Cal is right now. Look, Cal had a nice start, too. They won a few games. But Florida State was pathetic over the first couple of weeks. I watched a little bit of Arch on Saturday night because I had that over in the Texas UL Monroe game, which did get over for me, by the way, at 52.5. Arch looked good. Now, they say, I saw Sarkisian say today that he's questionable Ewers to come back this week against Mississippi State. They're playing their first conference game in the SEC.
Are they really going to bench this kid now that they've unleashed on the world with his rap sheet of integrity himself, what his grandfather, his brother or cousin, uncle, whatever they are? I know Cooper's his dad. And that would make Peyton his uncle and Eli as well, right? So this guy has to play football. And if he's not playing, like, I know he wants to play at Texas. And I know that he's done a great job when he's in there. But you have got to be kidding me that they're going to bench him for Ewers now. And I would transfer from there so fast, make your head spin. That guy is too talented to be sitting on any bench anywhere. He will play in the NFL and have a career tenfold Ewers. You know what Ewers is? He literally, I hate to say it, he's like, I mean, Sam Darnold's doing great right now because of the setting he's in. But that's who he is. He's like Sam Darnold. That's who he is coming out of USC. That's who Quinn Ewers is. Arch Manning is destined for greatness. It's going to happen.
He is. And like I said to you last week, I'll say the same thing. He's got 2 weeks to get better, because if he's not better by the Oklahoma game and Arch plays and he plays well, he's never coming out. So Ewers better hope his healing powers get going very soon.
Now. I wouldn't play him now. I'd say, you have done everything for this school. You have been incredible. You've been even more than that. You've been sensational. But the party's over. You're the backup now. That's it.
Right.
Honestly, like,
I don't think he's going to do it to him.
Start this kid, and then we've been waiting for years for this kid, and then now he's playing, and then you're going to sit him down again. If I were that kid, I would be on like this on the phone every 5 minutes. You want me to play for you? Where? In Ann Arbor? Where do you want me to play for you? Where do you? Oh, Florida.
Right there.
Hello.
Florida.
What school wants me? He can play wherever he wants. He can play anywhere he wants, and start every game. It is absurd to me. Now, look, I think Quinn Ewers is really good. I really do. He's not better than Arch Manning. He's not. Arch Manning was better than him when he was in high school.
I think Sark's going to put him back in. The first chance he gets, he's going to put him back in and let him finish the job.
I think he'll regret it.
He goes off to the NFL. He might. He might regret it. BC had that late touchdown to beat Michigan State. I thought that was a great finish, so I threw that in there. The end of the Colorado-Baylor game was also pretty wild with Sanders hitting that kid. Now, I don't know what the hell Baylor was doing on that play. I don't know why they didn't have 6 or 7 guys in the end zone to knock balls down. But Colorado got that Hail Mary at the end of regulation. They ended up beating Baylor in overtime, 38-31.
Time out. I got 5 left. What?
Yes.
So I get the whole thing with Prime and the Sanders kids and Hunter and all sunglasses and all the national TV game. I get it. But really, you rush the field when you beat Baylor, who's been, their basketball, the girls' basketball program's better than their football program. This year, their coach is on the hot seat. Literally, when the season started, he was on fire. And now you beat them and you rush the field. Act like you've been there before. Like, I know they haven't. That's the joke in all this. I guess that's why you rush the field, because Colorado never beats anybody. What did they win last year? 2-3 games? Now all of a sudden they win a game and they rush the field. But, you got to do that when you beat somebody good, not when you beat Baylor. I don't think Baylor's good at football anymore.
Yeah,
Armada, whatever his name is.
You know that I have a problem with all this stuff. I saw some people try to say, all right, the way that they won the game was so exciting that they had to rush the field, blah, 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 blah.
Whatever.
How about BYU beating Kansas State's ass in the late-night bailout blowout game out in Provo? Man, did Kansas State they got hit between the eyes. How about, did you see that? You said you watched the game late night.
The kid run the kick.
Return. The kid on the punt return, where the ball went back to the goal line. What a run by that kid. That was unbelievable.
That was the play of the year in college football. That'll win an ESPY. That'll win play of the year in college football.
It certainly should. James Madison dropped a 70 spot on North Carolina in Chapel Hill. In fact, North Carolina paid James Madison $1 million to go there and play the game, and then they dropped 70 on them. So nice job by the Tar Heels.
I heard Mac Brown was so embarrassed by it that he was considering retiring again.
I saw that.
He's a good coach.
He walked it back today.
He's like 100 years old.
Today.
Like he needs to retire anyway.
He walked it back.
It's a young man's game. There are no coaches lasting, in my opinion, deep into their 70s. And I think he should quit anyway.
Buffalo beat Northern Illinois also, so they beat the Irish a few weeks ago, and then they lost their first MAC game. So nice job by them. New AP Top 25 for this week, which has, of course, Texas at the top again. So Texas, Georgia, 1-2, Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Miami, Oregon, Penn State, and then the Utes of Utah in at number 10. I'm looking around at the bottom there, Scotty, in the 20s. It's funny, I don't see Indiana yet, which is very disheartening to me. I think that Indiana should be in the top 25 with how well they've played the last few weeks. Alabama and Georgia are playing this week. It's the first time Alabama's been dogs at home since 2007. We will spend a lot of time on that starting tomorrow, Scotty, obviously getting ready for this Saturday.
I believe Bill Bender, what he said, that Miami and Tennessee in the playoff would be as good as any national championship game could be. Those two heavyweights going at it would be fantastic. I only care about the Canes. I care about no one else.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season long, people.
What in the world is going on in in Miami, Dom.
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Brew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, let's talk baseball. The final week of the regular season, thank God.
Thank God indeed, because we love October playoff baseball, serious October baseball, and it will begin next week, Scotty. Of course, the wild card series will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, and we cannot get there fast enough. All right, here's the situation as we head into the final week. In fact, we'll throw the AL wildcard standings up, and I'll just tell you everything that happened and how we got there. Tigers beat the Orioles yesterday 4-3. So that, along with the Yankees playing well in Oakland, means the AL East is pretty much over, Scotty. Yankee magic number is 1. They play the Orioles starting tomorrow for a 3-game series. They're going to win the division. Orioles have the top wild card. But as you look right beyond that, the Royals and the Tigers are now both 82-74. The Twins got blasted in Fenway all weekend. They've lost 22 of their last 33 games, and they are now 1 game back of both the Royals and the Tigers. The Tigers just lost all 7 games of a homestand this past week, so they're not playing well either. That is the spot as we head into the last week. Everybody's got 6 games left here, Scotty, over this next few days. Now, remember the one thing. Detroit finishes with the White Sox Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, who, of course, have now lost 120 games. That's who Detroit finishes with this week.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you don't sweep them, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. And I don't really give a rat's ass about anybody else. I guess I could see the Twins and Seattle still having a remote chance. They're 1 and 2 games back. I think, obviously, you're going to talk about the National League. The Braves are 2 back. But the reality is I'm actually rooting for the Tigers to get in and the Royals. And I think the Orioles are getting in either way. But the Orioles have played like Shaq the last 2 months. I mean, the other day, Santander hit a home run, first time they won a game in a month. I mean, they're just not playing well. So when you go to October not playing well, you're not going to just turn around and start playing well. It doesn't work that way. In the regular season, it can. You could have hot streaks and cold streaks. Then you turn the corner and get, winning again. But when you go into the postseason playing like crap, you lose and you're eliminated.
You certainly do. Now, the Royals play Washington and Atlanta this week on the road. Minnesota is home for the Marlins starting tomorrow. and then they finished with the Orioles in Minnesota. Detroit is home the entire week, 3 with Tampa, and then the 3 with the White Sox that we've been mentioning there. So, each of these teams they're not playing great teams. I mean, Minnesota's playing the Marlins. The Royals are playing the Nationals. There's chances for wins here. And that's where I think, Scott, you tell me if I'm wrong. Baltimore's been so bad. And they're 4 up on all those teams. But if they ever got swept by the Yankees and lost all 3 of those games, they could be on thin ice heading into the weekend. That's how bad they've been. If everyone takes care of business against the really bad teams, they could be on thin ice heading into this weekend.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. There's nothing else I can add to that. You said it perfectly.
National League side, you said it already too. The Mets and the Diamondbacks are tied for the 2nd and the 3rd wild card spot. The Braves are the only other team left that can still get in. Everyone else has been eliminated. They are 2 back of the Braves and the D-backs. Padres are 3 up on all of those teams. Mets are in Atlanta starting tomorrow. 3-game series. If the Mets win 2 of those games, Scotty, they will clinch a playoff spot and be done with it.
Well, they are playing the best baseball, I think, of anybody in the whole league. And they have been winning with regularity. I mean, every night. They lose a game, it's a bigger story than if they win. So I think that I want to see them in the playoffs. I'm not a Met fan, but I want the best teams playing their best baseball to be in the playoffs. I'm not interested in – now, I like Kansas City. I like Bobby Witt. I like Salvi, whatever. But when you've lost 7 in a row and you're passing gas down the stretch, the old saying, the horse cables before the race, he might be good to go. I don't know if I buy that, okay? The Royals are sputtering down at the end here. You look at that side, and then you look on the other side. If the Braves lose to the Mets, they're done. But I can see the Mets going down there and losing all 3. Even though they've been hot, everyone, famous last words, the Mets are on fire. They've won 90% of their games the last 2 months. They're going to clean up on the Braves. They'll go get swept. I mean, baseball is a funny game. Just when you think you got it all figured out, you get beat 3 in a row and you're carrying your bat into the clubhouse after the game, all in the dugout, all depressed. You don't know what hit you. So I think it's just a gigantic series, and I think the Padres and the Diamondbacks are getting in, and I want to see the Mets over the Braves. I've had enough, frankly, of the Braves being in the playoffs every year for the last 30 years. I want to see the Mets do it because I think they're an exciting team that can get lit. Now, listen, let's just be honest. No one down in Atlanta is going to like when I say this, but I lived there many times. You are not as rowdy as New York Mets fans, okay? The baseball crowds in New York and the Bronx and in Queens, we're on another level than you. You don't want to admit it because you think you got it all figured out down there. Let me tell you something. I lived there. I lived here. You can't hold a candle to this place. Now, I know the Braves owned the Mets through the years that Shea and Chipper Jones owned them. I get all that. But I want to see Citi Field rocking in October. I want to see that. I want to see the best teams in baseball in the playoffs. And I, frankly, do not believe the Braves are one of the best teams in baseball.
They will have both of their 2 top pitchers against the Mets in this series. Sale will start the 2nd game. Max Fried will start the 3rd game against the Mets. So they're going to put their best guns out there, see if they can somehow take some games and stay alive. We'll come back. I got one other note for you from yesterday, and then 4 games tonight into the leftover segment tonight. So 4 MLB games that we have to do in leftovers.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all week long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Crew has already clinched the National League. Said they're 2 games behind LA. That being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
My daughter's getting her license in 2 weeks. I'm scared to death. Mafia has decided to let his children start driving now before they are done with elementary school. He's just going to let them drive and see where the chips fall because of all the stress that I say it brings your life. But one thing I do know, the Long Island Bulldogs were victorious against the number 1 team in the league, otherwise known as turning the corner. The Bulldogs taking on the best and starting to win, tying, winning. Well, I mean, it's all good.
We didn't lose.
Don't start lying to me. You know you guys are winners.
We didn't lose on Saturday. We played the first place team and we tied them. So in our book, that's a win. That's a good job by the girls on Saturday. I got a lot to do here. Dodgers beat the Rockies on a Mookie Betts walk-off yesterday, but Ohtani hit his 53rd home run to tie the game. Judge with 55, Ohtani with 53. Pirates beat the Reds 2-0. How about this outing? How's 9 strikeouts in 5 shutout innings, and his ERA is now 1.99. That would be Paul Skeens, who should win the NL Rookie of the Year, despite the fact that there are people that, I guess a lot of people that say he's not going to win it, but he should win it. And yeah, I believe
they're wrong.
He's going to pitch in the Bronx
Jackson
on
Merrill.
Saturday, right?
What?
Bronx on Saturday.
Yeah,
Bronx.
Bronx.
Now look, he's now the favorite, minus 145. He's moved back. This is why I did this for you today. He is now minus 145. Merrill's plus 110.
Well, that's because I think Merrill's been outstanding all year, and he actually got the hottest in August. And the baseball season goes till the end of September. And what Skeens has done is go out and own September. And what he did yesterday was amazing. And if he goes and does that in the Bronx in his last start against the Yankees, who are favored to go to the World Series, they are, then you've got to give him the Rookie of the Year. He captivated baseball this year. And the only people that care about Jackson Merrill in baseball are, frankly, people from San Diego and a few baseball writers. And that's where it's fixed. Scott Miller and all those guys love Jackson Merrill. Bob Nightingale loves Jackson Merrill because they all live in the West Coast in San Diego and Phoenix. And the reality is that Paul Skeens owned baseball this year.
And hopefully he finishes it off nicely Saturday at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx for his season. All right, Cubs-Phillies tonight in Philadelphia. Pearson and Nola, minus 2 Bills for the Phillies.
Phillies.
Red Sox are in Toronto. Tanner Houck and the Basset Hound. The Blue Jays are actually small favorite, minus $1.15 with an 8.5.
The game should be canceled, but I'll take the Blue Jays. I mean, this game means nothing. Honestly, we're at the point now in the final week. What are we really going to talk about teams that aren't going to the postseason and give a rat's ass who they're playing and what their odds are? Honestly.
When there's only 4 games, we can.
Right.
Seattle's in Houston. Astros need 1 win, and they'll win the AL West for the 7th straight year. They have Hunter Brown tonight against Bryce Miller, minus 130 Houston.
I'm going Houston tonight to ice it. And you know what? The old Carver High, go ahead and have another celebration. And then you can have another one after the first round and another one after the next round. So just keep partying.
Nonsense. And finally, the Diamondbacks, who, of course, are tied with the Mets for the second wild card right now, have Eduardo Rodriguez tonight against Hayden Birdsong with the Giants in town, minus 175 for the Snakes.
Yeah, run line it at plus 110 with the Snakes in the desert. That's the deal.
There you go with all the baseball. There was a lot. The WNBA playoffs started yesterday. I know people might have missed it because they started all their games during an NFL Sunday. But the Fever did lose to the Sun in Connecticut. They got smashed. Liberty beat the Dream. Lynx beat the Mercury. Aces beat the Storm. She was the unanimous winner of the Rookie of the Year, by the way, Caitlin Clark. She finished 4th in the MVP voting. For some, I don't know how, she didn't get a first or a second place vote for MVP either, Caitlin Clark, which made no sense to me. But what can you do?
Yeah, well, A'ja Wilson is everyone's favorite player in the league. She's the player everyone's jealous of, Clark. She's not the favorite player in the league. She's the one everyone doesn't like because they're jealous of her. Meanwhile, she brings them more business, bigger paychecks, private planes, better food, better hotels, better everything, full houses everywhere they go. The league is so much better because of Caitlin Clark. In my opinion, she's the MVP, the Rookie of the Year. I know A'ja Wilson's a great player. I'm going to say that. I actually believe, no one gives a rat's ass about her. Who really cares about that team out there? Honestly, they won 2 titles in a row. I give a rat's ass about it. Honestly.
Energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
You know what? What can one of these quarterbacks or wide receivers do for me this year to make a wager? It's got to be the running conditions there for Jaden Daniels.
In regards to Jaden Daniels, I was on him in regards to the Heisman Trophy. I actually think he's going to do it on the ground, through the air, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, playing in Cliff Kingsbury's offense where he wants to spread it and throw it. I think he's going to put up dynamic numbers.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
New to the Live Golf Plus app. Watch Live Golf any way you want it. Follow any group. Replay any shot. Anytime, anywhere. Any questions? Watch Live Golf live and on demand.
He had 4 grabs in the first half for just over 30 yards, was injured, came back in briefly, and then had to be carted off.
We were pessimistic on Puka Nakua's injury to the same right knee, of that being a nothing, just a bursa, and that's it, as per Sean McVay. We felt there could be a small PCL component.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.